Welcome to NFL Week 18 update. Let's get to it. Carolina and Tampa started the Week 18 finale with the Bucks win 16-14. Baker Mayfield 16 out of 22, 203 passing yards, a touchdown, and a pick. A rating of 97.3. Carolina is 8-9 now. We already know Carolina with a loss. Falcons win. They're in the playoffs. Congratulations, Panthers. You win the NFC South. That was lucky. As for the Buccaneers, this one is a tough one. I know they've beaten the Panthers, but this season for them, it's been not just a disaster, but how do I go with this? Mountain fall. You know, when you climb up to the mountain, a chance for them for the 1 seed, Baker Mayfield's MVP, and then they slip in those kinds of games. This is what happened this season. They've been up and down. A lot of fans thought this could be Todd Bowles getting fired. Unfortunately, he is going to remain as the head coach of the Buccaneers unless we'll hear some news surrounding this week. But I do think Todd Bowles is going to stay as the head coach. And for the Panthers, it's playoff football time. Seattle claims the 1 seed, 13-3 win over the 49ers. Derek Hall, 1 total tackle, 1 solo tackle, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 3 QB hits. Seattle is 14-3, and they are heading to the playoffs. Plus, they win the West, and they're the number 1 seed in the NFC. As for the 49ers, they're 12-5, and they dropped to the 6th seed because the Rams won against Arizona, so they will fall to the 6th seed. Texans beat the Colts 38-30. Elijah Huziz, 4 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, 1 pass defense, 1 interception. Texans go to 12-5, which that clinches them the 5 seed. The Colts, on the other hand, they dropped to 8-9, and we obviously know that Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard are staying next season. I think their GM, Chris Ballard, and then Shane Steichen are going to stay. I think Colts fans are tired of Shane Steichen. I know it's just because they went 8-1 and they dropped one out of 9 games, and that was really brutal for them. We'll see next season who is their quarterback going to be. Will Riley Leonard be the starter until Daniel Jones returns, or Anthony Richardson? Again, he has that 5th-year option, so there's going to be a quarterback battle there in Indy for next season. 2 teams are just playing for pride. What a win for the Browns. The Browns win at 20-18 over the Bengals. Myles Garrett, 1 total tackle, 1 solo tackle, 1 sack, 1 TFL, 2 QB hits. This 1 sack breaks the record for 23 sacks, the most by any defensive player in NFL history. He surpassed TJ Watt and Michael Strahan for the most sacks in NFL history. Congratulations to Myles Garrett. Browns go to 5-12, and even good news, Kevin Stefanski is fired. So we'll see where this Browns team is going. I'm interested at this job because they're going to have a lot of work with Deshaun Watson. Are they going to deal with his contract? And will Myles Garrett leave Cleveland to go somewhere else? I think if you're Myles Garrett, I would stay in Cleveland and see who this new head coach is going to be. And if it is a defensive coach, I do think he's still going to remain as a Brown. But we'll see where they go for Cleveland. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, 6-11 record. They finished the season with 6 wins. And Zach Taylor will remain as the head coach. I think too much to say. Maybe he should have been fired. But the risk of firing Zach Taylor probably would be next season. So next season, we'll see if Zach Taylor can improve from this year to next season. Let's get to the battle of the NFC South. The Falcons with a win over the Saints, 17-19. James Pierce Jr., 3 total tackles, 2 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. Atlanta goes to 8-9. Despite that, they give the Panthers the 4 seed and the NFC South title, but also fired both their head coach Raheem Morris and their GM Terry Vaughn a house clean for the Falcons. And another interesting job because there's going to be questions surrounding Michael Penix and his future in Atlanta. We're also told that Kirk Cousins is reworking his contract because remember, he's got 2 years left in his deal, so probably they're going to give him one more year left, and then by 2027, he's going to be a free agent. So we'll see. Orleans is a money wise for the Falcons. We'll see who their head coach and GM will be, but overall, 8-9, another disappointing season for the Falcons. As for the Saints, they dropped to 11-6, and there's going to be high optimism for the Saints team. Kellen Moore is still going to be the head coach. Tyler Shough, I do believe he's probably in the mix of the Offensive Rookie of the Year conversation. And Brandon Staley, the defense coordinator for the Saints, keep an eye on him. He's probably going to get some head coaching interviews, but I think he's going to remain as the defense coordinator for the Saints. Packers didn't play nothing because they rested all their starters. 3-16 over the Vikings. Vikings win 16-3 over the Packers. Dallas Turner, 6 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. Minnesota goes to 9-8. As for the Packers, they will head to the playoffs as a 7 seed for the 3rd straight year in a row with a 9-7-1 record. Jaguars claim the AFC South 41-7 over the Titans. Trevor Lawrence, 22 out of 30, 255 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rating of 131.9 rating. Jacksonville goes to 13-4. They claim the 3 seed and the AFC West title. For the Titans, their season's a little disappointing. I know Cam Ward has a shoulder injury. The good news is it's not a season-ending injury, of course. So no surgery was needed. But interesting job, too, because who's going to work with Cam Ward? And is there a coach there that's going to have that Liam Cohen success? Giants upset the Cowboys 34-17. Jackson Dart, 22 out of 32, 230 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rating of 110.2 rating. Giants finished the season 4-13 despite missing that number 1 pick. So really disappointed, but another good job. We'll see who takes over the job for the Giants. As for the Cowboys, they dropped to 7-9-1. And listen, that loss to the Giants may be embarrassing, but obviously they just made the move this early this morning that Matt Eberflus has been fired. So they are going to hire a new defense coordinator. Whoever's going to be, he's got a lot of work with this new Cowboys defense for next season. Rams get a bounce back win, 37-20 over the Cardinals. Matthew Stafford, 25 out of 40, 259 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and a rating of 114.5 rating. Rams claim the 5 seed. They are 12-5. They're going to take on the Carolina Panthers, who, they already faced the Panthers before this regular season. They lost there. Now they go back to Charlotte and see if they get their revenge there. Cardinals, they dropped to 3-14, and of course they fired Jonathan Gannon, which is a bit surprised because I think there was rumors that Jonathan Gannon will probably be one of those coaches to stay in Arizona, but Jonathan Gannon leaving, another great attraction job. We'll see who they hire to be their next head coach because there's going to be questions surrounding Kyler Murray's future in Arizona and who will they bring in as their new quarterback for this team. Raiders get a 14-12 win over the Chiefs despite claiming the number 1 pick of the 2026 draft. Tyree Wilson, 6 total tackles, 5 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. Raiders go to 3-14, and again, they fired their head coach Pete Carroll, and again, another good attraction job. The earliest rumor is that Brian Flores is the favorite to take the job at in Las Vegas, and then bringing in Brian Daboll to be their offense coordinator. So if that is true, I think it's a good hire. No, Brian Flores is a defensive mind coach. He's been a head coach before with the Dolphins, and if bringing Brian Dable as the offense coordinator, I would say that would be a great hire as the OC. He is a good coordinator when he is with the quarterbacks. I think him with Fernando Mendoza, that chemistry in Vegas, something's cooking over there. As for the Chiefs, 6-11 record. No news surrounding Travis Kelce announcing his retirement. We'll probably get the news surrounding this month or next month if we get some news surrounding Travis Kelce. But Chiefs finished the season 6-11. But the good news is you get a top 10 draft pick. Commanders winning at 24-17 over the backup Eagles. And by backup, I mean the backups who, the starters have to rest. Chris Rodriguez Jr., 16 carries, 65 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Washington goes to 5-12. And today they broke the news that Cliff Kingsbury and Joe With Jr. have been fired. Not Dan Quinn. Cliff Kingsbury, their offensive coordinator, and Joe With Jr. as their defensive coordinator, who they spent 2 seasons. Their first season's magical. They made it to the NFC Championship game. And this year, disaster. So, Washington will see who their new OC and DC will be. And they got to find someone. That offensive coordinator job is not going to be easy because there's not a lot of names. I already mentioned Brian Dable could be one of those guys. But we'll see if they can find someone who is going to be the next play caller for Jane Daniels when he's healthy. Eagles, they dropped to 11-6. They will be the 3 seed. They will take on the 49ers. Of course, that is a great matchup. It would be 2 teams who represented the NFC in the last 3 Super Bowls. So, Eagles, get healthy. Get ready for the playoffs. Patriots dominate the Dolphins 38-10. Ramondre Stevenson, 7 carries, 131 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 catches for 22 receiving yards and a touchdown. New England goes to 14-3. They claim the 2 seed in the AFC. As for the Dolphins, they dropped to 7-10. No Mike McDaniels, not going to get fired. But Anthony Weaver, maybe he's going to get some coaching interviews. So the future of Miami will be around the new GM. We'll see who they get as their new general manager. And likely maybe a greater job because if this new GM comes in and fires Mike McDaniel, that job will be a more attractive job than these other jobs that I'm going to talk about. Lions beat the Bears on 19-16 to finish the season at 9-8. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 11 catches for 139 receiving yards. He's been targeted 15 times. And they finished the season with a winning record. But the bad news is John Morton, their offensive coordinator, has been fired from the Lions. So they're going to be looking for a new OC. The Bears will be heading to the playoffs with an 11-6 record. And they're the 2 seed going up against the Green Bay Packers for the 3rd time this season, which would be a classic in the wild card. Broncos claimed the 1 seed in the AFC with a 19-3 win over the Chargers. Nick Bonito, 2 total tackles, 1 solo tackle, 1.5 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 QB hits. Denver goes to 14-3. They are the number 1 seed in the AFC. As for the Chargers, they go to 11-6, and they're going to Foxborough to take on the Patriots, which this is another good game because it's Jesse Minter and his defense going up against Josh McDaniels and the Patriots offense, which should be a real thriller in Super Wildcard Weekend Sunday. Bills Bills win 35-8 over the Jets. Sorry, I got interrupted with my throat. Back to what I said, 35-8. Yep, Bills win, and the Jets are the first team with no interceptions. That is something that I don't see often. An NFL team, their defense has never had a pick. Wow. The backups went to were on the field. Mitchell Trubisky, 22 out of 29, 259 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and a rating of 142.1 rating. Bills are 12-5. They're the 6th seed, and they're going to play the Jaguars, which I think is the game of the week in the playoffs. Josh Allen and the Bills are going on the road, which they have struggled in road games against a Jaguars team that has been a lot of time. Maybe Super Bowl winners, maybe getting to the AFC Championship game. This will be a test for the Bills. 12-5 record. Jets, good luck next season. 3-14 record. And then the 2 words. Bills fans already know this word, but Ravens fans, you're going to get it. Wide right. They lost to the Steelers 24-26 in an AFC North Championship game. Aaron Rodgers, 31 out of 47, 294 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and a rating of 90.2 rating. Steelers are 10-7. They win the division. They're playing the Texans, which I think is another good game because it is the best defense in the league. The Texans going up against a Steelers team that can run the football. How will that Texans defense slow down that running game from the Steelers offense? As for the Ravens, they dropped 8-9, and as of today, John Harbaugh has been fired from the Ravens after 18 seasons. So the Ravens will now search for their 4th head coach, which, again, I'm shocked. But this is it. John Harbaugh will not coach for the Ravens in 2026. That's it for NFL Week 18 update. If you're not seeing my other videos, go check them out on my channel. Of course, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more sports news.